So, now what?
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh man, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know. It's the end of an era. It's the end of an era. Anyway, that was a rather weird cold open to an episode. But hello everybody. Welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
We've got Jason.
Hello.
We've got Josh.
What it is.
We've got Wesley.
Heyo.
And I'm Locutus of Borg. Assimilation is futile. So I completely forgot I'd left this hat on, and I thought I'd just keep it on. But I've got this really new cool hat for running. It's got this torch thing in it, which kind of really blows out the camera. So let me just turn it off.
It's like a self-defense mechanism.
I know. It is kind of like a self-defense mechanism.
Thing's powerful.
And we've got Keith.
Good morning.
There
Good
he
morning.
goes.
I was fighting with internet.
Oh dear. Shot me off at the knees and called me tripod. Keith's with us. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, boys.
Happy New
Who
Year.
have we got this morning? We've got Kang on comments. We've
Hey,
got
Kang.
Pete, TC Wallets. I think Kang was a bit freaked out by our by our opening there, which Keith you missed. We've got Interglobal is here. So yeah, we got folks happening. And Keith's off already. Bye, Keith. Oh, no, oh, Wesley's gone. What's going on? Everyone's leaving. Oh no, there he is. I won't ask what you were doing down there, Wesley. Right.
Well, yeah.
So, we are now. I was about to say something dramatic like we are now in a post Upper Deck era, but I don't think we are because, crikey, where can I start? So last time we talked, Upper Deck had announced that about 2/3 of the products they still had on EPAC were going to disappear at 5 p.m. Pacific on the 31st of December. And a lot of those items went on 50% off sale. Everyone was thinking, oh, okay, they're gonna suddenly drop to a 75% off or 90% off.
Why not?
Lo and behold, 30th of December, an announcement goes up saying, oh, they're not going to disappear now. We can carry on selling them until they sell out.
Just kidding.
It's like April Fools.
This
4 months early.
Not a good look.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, it is what it is, and there's so much speculation as to why it should be. And some people saying, I demand to know why. Some comments have been like, it's like, who knows? Who cares? I mean, chances are we'll never probably know.
We could speculate, but we'll never know.
Yeah,
Right.
the exact reasons. I mean, there's some speculation that they've got some sort of agreement with Fanatics, maybe. But I think it's unlikely it would have been directly with Fanatics. The licensor would have to be involved, Marvel. So
There may have just been legal wording that they didn't even properly vet. That
Yeah.
allows them to do it.
Exactly
Could
what I
be.
was
They
thinking.
finally vetted.
Mhm.
could be what you mean. They finally got a team of lawyers to look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's good. And so in the past, because we're recording on the 5th of January, in the past few days, we've had Flare and Allure both on 50% off, and Moon Knight actually.
And
And all of a sudden, like the Facebook groups are actually flooded with people buying Flare and then selling off the hits. So, so that's happening again because people haven't got anything new to buy. How long do you think it'll be until we kind of see that whole EPAC buy, gamble, hope to get a hit, post it up for sale? I mean, I guess as long as the products will last.
Yeah.
yeah, I think as long as it's there, yeah.
Yeah. And is there actually going to be a cutoff date, or is it just really till it sells out?
Well, not that we've heard. I mean, I did see 1 or 2 comments speculating that it was going to be possibly for the first quarter, but there's no evidence to support that. There's no public, announcement. And I think in one comment I did reply to, so there's no obligation for them to publish any of this information in public domain because it's, you know,
right.
it's not like they're they're a charity or something like that. They don't have to publish that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that's fun. So you can still go on ePack and buy a multitude of products, with the exception of Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum, which sold out really quite quickly on ePack. But I'm pretty certain that's because, and people have been posting saying, "Where's all the one of ones and where's all this and where's all that?" And it's like, why are there so few PMGs showing? And it kind of speaks to the fact that people assume that 50% of the product went on ePack when it's probably barely 10%. Because
there's a timing with the scanning and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was amazed they got it up there at all. You know, I kind of off the record being told it probably wouldn't happen. So they clearly decided to, you know what, guys, let's get them all working overnight.
Yeah, let's go
See if
for
we
it.
can get a little bit on there. And yeah, you know, it's there. Daddy's medicine. So that's happened, and then Renditions has dropped. Marvel Spider-Man Renditions,
which has looked beautiful.
Which looks absolutely stunning. I don't have any in hand yet, and yet I've spent way too much money on it over the past few weeks because Black Cat appears in it not once, not twice, but 3 times with all the parallels.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then there's Chase. So, yes. Thanks for that.
That gritty teeth smile. Thanks for that.
It's like, but it's kind of like, okay, we've lost the license. See ya. It's a kick in the balls as you head out the door.
Yeah, on your way out.
Yeah, exactly. And Wesley will feel this pain. Not only is Black Cat all over Renditions, she's all over the 3 retail sets. I'll say 3 of them. I think she's definitely on 2 of them, possibly on the 3rd. So we've had Women of Marvel we've seen. Then we had 2024 Upper Deck Spider-Man and 2024 Upper Deck Avengers. And all 3 of them came out in fact, I think the first one was initially David Adams, but I think I've started seeing it popping up elsewhere now. And the other 2 are popping up in
Matriarchs a lot too, right? Like,
oh, don't, yeah, we'll come on to Matriarchs in a moment. And yeah, so, but those retail sets, I mean, I know you opened a box of Women of Marvel, Jason, but the Spider-Man one looks okay, but they're very similar format. I mean, they've got the same comic covers inserts, they've got the same parallels, the borders look the same, you know, the design looks the same. It's just a different subject matter. So, but they actually look quite kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed I liked the Women of Marvel. I mean, it's just basic, you know, base cards, but they're foily, they're shiny, they have good images, they're fun. I mean, I haven't bought any more, but it's a relatively easy base set to put together. I mean, it's not huge. I'm looking forward to the Spider-Man. I haven't seen any locally yet. But.
Yeah, I think a few people have been posting it in group and saying, you know, like, is it worth dropping $70 on this? And they've got a box of the Spider-Man in their hands. And I've commented on at least one of them saying, is it worth it to you? Because I guess it depends what you're in it for. I mean, $70. You get 12. I think you get at least 12 of those blister packs in there, if I'm right. Jason?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So, you know, whilst it might not have the big shiny and the hits, you know, 70 quid. I mean, you'd pay $70. I mean, you'd pay half of that on a blaster.
Right. Yeah, that's low cost to get into something fun, just to have a rip. Just
to open something.
Yeah,
you know?
and there's not. I mean, there are some low number parallels, and there is a possibility of sketches, I believe, in all those.
Yes, I've seen sketch stock. Yeah,
but
it looks good.
It's kind of more of a small kind of entry set, so you're not. Yeah. It's one of those things. If you want to build the set, or you like the characters in it, and you want to have some fun, you know. I mean, I got a serial number to 99 in my Women of Marvel box, and I also got the red parallel, which is, I think, 1 in 24 packs.
Yeah, it's not numbered.
Two kind of hitty chase things in my box. But so yeah, 71 is not too bad for that kind of thing, I don't think. So
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, an XL blaster for Masterpieces is the same price.
Yes.
So and you get far
was that
more
$70?
product.
I thought that was 35.
It was like $67 at my Target.
Yeah.
I was just there yesterday.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only ones I've seen down here are about that price.
Wow. Okay. It was literally half that on the Upper Deck web store.
Yeah, they still have a bunch. I'll check when I go to Target. They still Target and a couple other places still have the XL blasters, and I think they were 40 up here for the blasters, but you only get 2 packs.
Yeah, you get 6 cards, don't you?
You get 6 cards that are a pain in the ass to figure out how to store.
I put them right back in the box because I couldn't figure it out.
Ultra Pro 2 pocket pages. They're perfect.
I got a couple that are going to be going to Ian soon. So.
Yeah, they make penny sleeves for them. I found penny sleeves.
Yeah.
So I've got almost all of them in that, and I haven't found top loaders for them, but they've got
you can get those Ultra Pro.
You can definitely
you can get them because you want to look for the they're listed. I think they're for photos, so I think they're kind of
because I got a couple of them
photo stuff
stuffed in clear plexi now just to try to keep them safe. And
I found a bunch of those on I got those at Michael's for like $1 a piece, don't they? Those clear plexi things like that.
Yeah, if you because there's nowhere to keep at that size. There's nowhere to keep them safe from getting cornered or other than the box.
And that's a point that we talked about at one point. Is because of the size of them and the size of the card, the corners are just going to get.
Right.
Plus, we're having trouble finding places to make them safe.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been a nightmare to produce those in 100 PT. It would have been way too expensive.
Can you imagine?
But it would have it'd hold up. It's basically worth it at that point if it stays nice. If it's got some dexterity to it, and you don't have to treat it so fragile.
I mean, I have to say they've come out of the pack pretty okay. So I think it's just at that point it's past that. Unlike the oversized, they're not quite as big, but the oversized jumbo cards that come in the blasters from Marvel Studios, they're just in there rattling around loose. You've got the packs, and then you've got the Jason. You've opened them.
They're wrecked. I opened 2 Series 2 last weekend, and they weren't as warped and beat up like the Series 1 ones, but still not.
So and then Matriarchs, of course, which is I think is the one everyone's largely been kind of getting excited about and focused on and posting about and doing breaks of. Yada yada yada.
One
thing I did just looks amazing.
The medallions look amazing on that set.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Better Halves dive cut puzzles. I mean, that was a nice little. You got the the one that they showed was Polaris on one side and Havoc on the other side. So you've got basically a card that you can die cut and put together as a puzzle. And see if I could. Yeah, there you go. Kind of like that. The other 2 halves.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was working. I'd seen it, but I couldn't figure out if they came in the same pack.
Those medallions look.
You're off to one side there, Wesley, but let me make you a bit big on the screen. Let me see if we can figure this out. It's just the background on those is just so lovely.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, and the background really stands out.
Oh, Wesley's desktop. Hello, Wesley's desktop.
Need to do a little.
Oh, there we go.
That a little better.
There it is.
But
that's nice.
The art, it looks.
Yeah,
this is Flare Ultra, right?
Yeah, Flare Ultra Matriarchs.
Yep. So they finally put a clean border on something, and didn't plaster it across the card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that you're right. So that it doesn't have it doesn't have like the claws or the things in it or anything.
No.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
Finally listened. I mean, as Blake said, all boxes are super loaded. and that's because no repack.
Correct.
So yeah, and the base medallions are actually pink, as Pete says. I love the pink ones. I'm assuming he's talking about the medallions there, but
there's no silver.
No,
they're like a
no. The base is like a pink, kind of a
all right,
rose pink,
like a pink color.
They look really good. They look really good.
Yeah, they look sharp, and I collect all the medallions and stuff. I've got a
exactly
huge, so yeah, that's going to dictate. Now it's changing my color up though.
I was going to say, I can tell I can sense you're troubled.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'll work it in.
A disturbance in the force, and it's coming from Josh's house.
I'm thinking of what other colors can I go with, but that's all right. We'll work with pink. I like it.
So you've got the other usual layers. You've got gold, you've got platinum to 100 on this one. Gold, I think, to 200. So I've managed to pick up one of each of those. I don't have them in hand yet, but I've managed to pick them up. But even the base ones are moving for like 15, 20 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your exposure in this set, Ian? How many pieces you got of her?
She's got. Well, I've nailed down a lot of the hard stuff. So there's a metal. There's fully equipped. It's like a metal card. I've picked that one up. There's a Women of the Web, which is like a die cut, like web kind of vibe going on.
Yeah.
And she's got a regular one of those, and that has a red parallel, which is SSP. I think Keith Boyle said he only got 2 out of 3 cases or something crazy like that. I might be misremembering that, but it was something like that. And I don't think the odds have been quite figured out on it yet. But so I saw that pop up and I grabbed it straight away because I was like, it's not numbered, but it's pretty limited, and they've not made a lot of this set. Who do I collect, Blake? Black Cat. Wesley and I both collect Black Cat. So this is very much a feline and feral podcast experience. X23, I believe, is in there. It
does look like.
Okay.
Yep, she is, and I love the art choice.
It's not to put me back in the middle again, but it does look like. Remember how we talked about? There's no.
Let's move that over. Hang on.
There's no. It does look like there is something on the outside of
right, but it's beautiful. But it looks,
but it frames
perfect.
it like
Exactly.
Masterpieces 18 and Masterpieces 20.
Right.
It accents the artwork without getting in the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like Flare Ultra Spider-Man, was very subtle with that.
Yeah, this is very nicely done here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That right there is
enough.
perfect.
I agree.
Just enough. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's really classy. It's sharp.
It's really nice. Yeah. But enough about Wesley. Let's go back to the group.
My bad.
That's quite all right. Your beard's good.
But I really do like the art that they have in the matriarchs. It's sharp.
It
nice. Looks good.
It is nice. So yeah, I think and I think the weirdly the parallels in it, they've kind of tried to number them. So there's a parallel to 194, which of course is Amazing Spider-Man 194 with Black Cat.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1 to 129. And I think Keith Boyle did put a post up explaining the significance of all of these. Do I have it in front of me right now? No, I don't. But I'm going to go and find it. So if you want to talk amongst yourselves, I will pull that post up and we can talk about it, because I do actually save all this stuff in a folder called To Talk About.
Yeah.
Isn't that Women of the Web parallel a clear? It looks like a clear with the web.
Yeah, I think it might be a. I want to say it's a die cut, but I'm not sure how die cut it is.
Yeah.
Whether it cuts out the middle bit or not.
Has Lady Lee? She's done a lot of sketch cards. Have she ever done art?
Yeah, she's got. I think this might be her first set with base card art.
Yeah, I was just looking at the artists on here. It looks like there's Anna Monchak, Ellie Penswick, Kelly McMorris. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah. Megan Hetrick did the Black Cat.
Yes.
So my web browser is just doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
so hopefully it won't mean that I suddenly disappear. Maybe some people would quite like it if I did.
Sarsaparilla Village. How am I saying? Sarsaparilla Village.
Suspiria.
Suspiria. She was on.
Whoops. Maybe I need my alpha brain.
She was on.
That's close enough. We got there collectively.
We knew who you meant. We knew who you meant.
Yeah, she was on platinum, wasn't
I
she?
think that's where we saw her first. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you meet her? No, hang on. You met. Who did you meet in New York Comic Con?
I met Bella.
I met Crystal.
Bella, Uko, and who else did I meet out there?
Oh, Crystal Fade is the one that Wesley
Yes.
met. Right.
Yeah.
And filmed her with his weird glasses.
With my weird porn glasses.
That was quite bizarre.
Yeah.
Right, I have now found the Keith Boyle post. While I'm waiting for it to load, let me just... Yeah, Liddy Lee has 5 pieces of art in this set, apparently.
Cool.
That's nice. That must be kind of like... That must be quite bizarre going from sketch cards to base... to actually being one of the set creators. I mean, I guess that's like going up a division in football, isn't it, or something like that?
That's a milestone for that. It's got to be one of those things you set in your mind as a goal, and
which is why I was so excited when Bella got her Unbound gig. Well, she obviously got it a lot before we knew it. Right. Okay. So, courtesy of Keith Boyle, our friend at Hobby Archival on Instagram. Marvel Matriarchs have serial numbers to different numbering than other sets. This is sourced from Billy Celio at Upper Deck, who's been on a couple of the breaks, and he mentioned the following information. So this is the kind of the openly available Easter egg. So the base card parallels to 194 is black, and that the relevance of that is Amazing Spider-Man 194, which is the first Black Cat. Then the next numbered parallel is light blue, which is numbered to 129, which is first Kitty Pryde and White Queen in X-Men 129.
Great issue.
Then we've got numbered to 80, Green Autos. Now, Keith's not so sure about this one. He says he thinks they're going for She-Hulk, first appearing in Savage She-Hulk #1 with a cover date of February 1980. So, not sure about that one. That's the nearest we can get to it. Anyway, the next one we're very, very certain of. It's 52, number to 52, the orange parallel, which is Tales of Suspense 52, which is first Black Widow. Then you've got number to 13, you've got the purple, which is Marvel Superheroes 13, which is the first Carol Danvers. And then lastly, number to 4, the red foil, X-Men #4, first Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat to do that.
That's cool.
I like that. I like that a lot. Are there one of ones?
I did see.
There's black opals, I think.
No, that's medallions. Yes, no, I'm talking about the base. That was the base rundown I just gave.
They do have a.
Let me open my Black Cat spreadsheet because I was adding to it the other day, and boy, did it take a long time.
They do. I think they do show old spectrums on here.
Yeah, let me just find it because honestly, guys, I'm sure you know, but in fact, I'll share it on screen in a moment once I can get my computer's going so slowly today. Can you pedal faster, Jason and Josh? So that it goes a bit quicker because it's really not happening.
Do you guys know
once I find it, I'll open it.
Yeah, they've got gold spectrum foil cards 1 of 1.
Right. Okay. Good. All right. So I have a Google sheet, which is my Black Cat master checklist. Okay. In fact, I'm going to open it right now, and then I'm going to share my screen. And I want you to feel a little bit of the pain. Okay. Oh, hang on a minute. Keith finally pulled. Not this Keith. Keith Boyle finally pulled a red out of 4 and whatnot on Friday.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay. I've seen a Black Cat one on group being showed off.
Out of 4, so, that's a pretty. Have they ever had an out of 4?
Don't think so. Out of 5's normally the They normally keep it to the whole kind of 5s malarkey.
Is there a significance for the 4? You think they tried to?
Yeah,
X-Men
well,
number
as
4,
I just
right?
read out, it's X-Men 4, first appearance of Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were listening to all that, weren't you?
Sort
Go
of.
to the bathroom while I was reading it out.
No, I had a coffee disaster here.
Oh, did you? Have you had a spillage? He's so excited over the numbering. He's having spillages. Hey, TJ, not TJ from Upper Deck, but a different TJ. TJ not from Upper Deck is going to be his nickname from now on. What's up, mates? It makes it sound like pirates.
I recently tried to find an omnibus for Scarlet Witch for Taylor, and they don't have an omnibus. So, like, I tried to go through and find out all the keys for Scarlet Witch, and first appearance was X-Men number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, there you go. Was that as a Christmas gift you were trying to buy for your good lady?
Yes. It was a little tougher without those omnibuses.
Omnibuy. Omnibuy. Sounds like some sort of sexual proclivity. I'm not bi. I'm omnibuy. So right,
8?
I'm going to share my screen to you just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about with the whole Black Cat thing. Once it catches up with me, this computer's really struggling to. I think it's cold in here. Right.
Do you guys know what they call a potato at a hockey game?
I don't know, Wesley. What do they call a potato at a hockey game?
A spectator.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
So there's this spreadsheet here.
So anyway, this is my master spreadsheet of everything and Black Cat. So every card she's appeared on. There are stickers on here as well. There are a couple of stamps on here as well. There's loads. So this is everything. Okay,
it's insane.
I've managed to find out. It is insane. If it's coloured green, I have it. Okay.
Did they have Excel when you first started this list?
Actually, I did start it in Excel, but then I moved it to Google Sheets, which is an easy transfer anyway. So anyway, let's scroll down through it. Now you thought Flare Ultra Spider-Man was a world of pain. Okay, so just count the number of rows Flare Ultra Spider-Man had, and that is possibly one of the largest Black Cat featuring sets. So we have, how many rows do we have here? I don't know. It's not telling me. Let's find out. 37. So 37 different items in Flare Ultra Spider-Man, including the one-of-ones and plates, of which it looks like I've got 34. So that's pretty good. So and you can see a lot of sets, look quite beefy with it. There's quite a few sets. Then you get down to some of the Marvel Masterpieces 2020 was quite a big one, but then it all goes a bit nuts. Then you got Metal Universe Spider-Man, and this is the dawning of the age of the parallels with this set. And then as you scroll down, Marvel Annual. Now Marvel Annual 21-22 is a bit of a pain because Black Cat appears on cards that aren't hers, like in the background or on the back.
Yeah,
because of the way they clip the covers.
Yeah,
because she's on the covers of the artwork that they're featuring,
or the panel, whatever.
But she's not actually got her own card in that set, which is it's just really annoying. So you've got all the parallels times 4 different characters.
I don't take it to that extent, by the way.
Well, yeah. Well, I collect anything where she's visually on the card, front or back.
That's
okay.
I draw the line at text mentions on checklists and things like that. And then, of course, she was on the number 1 spot as well, of 2 different covers, number 1 spots. And then, of course, she was on the background of 2 creators. So Marvel Annual 2021-22. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this, and then you got Marvel Beginnings 2.1. Look at all the parallels here. It's just bonkers.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Right.
Oh yeah. The parallels were nuts.
Yeah. Now that was even that was more than Masterpieces 2022. Okay. It was more than Flare Ultra Midnight Suns. Even Marvel Platinum is a pretty big chunk. Look at that. But then I want to scroll down. Marvel Unbound. It's nice and tight. Nice and easy. 2023 Marvel Annual. Again, she's on 2 cards. She's on Black Cat. She's also on the Mary Jane one. Marvel Flair's pretty chunky. I've not got much of that tucked away. Masterpieces XL. Then
Jeez,
you
Ian.
got Masterpieces Platinum. Yeah, I know. Trust me, Wesley. So basically, when I sat down at some point this week. I had time off from work, and boy, did I need it. It took me 2 hours to do this. I went through all of the Excel spreadsheets of the checklists, and I updated. I put the Masterpieces 92 Platinum on. Now, for Black Cat in that set, there are 42 elements, including plates. When I say elements, I mean cards. Be it plate, 1 of 1, whatever. Yeah, okay. You think, okay, that's all right. Then you got the first retail set I mentioned, which was Upper Deck Women of Marvel. Okay, so it's fairly small, fairly tidy. She appears on several cards in the retail set Upper Deck Spider-Man, as you can see by the repeat. She's on the Defenders card. She's got a card, Battle Time card, Spider-Man versus Black Cat. Then she's on a Monumental Covers. And then she's got a metal card as well. Okay, that's fine. And you got matriarchs. Let's count the matriarchs of Black Cat Love. There we go. So Wesley, we've got 32 items of matriarchs for Black Cat. Right. The reason I'm telling you all this is because all of those sets, Renditions comes along and says, "Hold my beer." Okay. Look at the number of rows and items for Renditions that feature Black Cat.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
58. There are 58 cards that feature Black Cat in Marvel Renditions.
Condolences to your sanity and wallet.
Now, bizarrely, she's on the Mysterio card, for example.
I saw that, yeah.
I have actually just picked up that just before we started recording. And watch what happens when I turn it to yes. I own it. The whole row goes green.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh, I love Google Sheets and Excel. But anyway, yes, and this one is just physical, of course. So
does that have you gone and put any of the top stuff on there yet?
No, I'm calling it after Upper Deck. Okay. I'm not doing the top stuff for Black Cat because it's just I need to step off a bit
for now.
Right.
Well, no, I've picked up. No, genuinely not. It's. I mean, if I was to add on all the stuff that was in Chrome to this, and if you think about that's going to be their usual kind of format, you're talking like 30 rows per set. It's not sustainable.
Right.
Yeah.
So and also I didn't dig the Chrome one, and it's the same art on Chrome and Chrome Sapphire. It's just a different foil effect. So so I chose not to do that. Then of course I've got down here all the TCG playing cards. There's a world of pain, Wesley. Different country playing cards, like French, Italian releases. It gets crazy. But of course, Renditions, which we'll talk about in more detail, hopefully when we've got some in hand, uses original artwork that was made for the Legendary set. So that's why I think it's quite strong, because a lot of people kind of think, oh, it's just reused art. Well, it is reused, but it's reused from cards, if that makes sense. So it was made for cards in the first place. So it actually works really well on the Renditions. I mean, they look really good.
They do.
So yeah, what was the red ones? Are you talking about on my spreadsheet, Pete? There's a couple of, not many actually, but there's a couple that feature cat, or they're called Black Cat, but it's hashtag not my Felicia. As in, there's an alternate universe one on one of the retail sets that's come out, and it's like literally a parallel universe, and it doesn't even look like Black Cat. It's not Felicia. It's different characters altogether. So I've decided not to do that. And there's a Venomized one that came in the Marvel Annual set. It's like, yeah,
no good.
Yeah.
I was reading an Ultimate Universe one the other day that had Black Black Cat is or Felicia as the Scarlet Spider, or
What?
something else. I forget I said anything. I can't remember. But I did get this card the other day that
Nice transition.
Pay no attention.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, don't worry about that. Just look at this shiny card. Right, what we got here?
It
this
does
is
work.
the one that you had.
Nice. Do you want to take it
yeah.
out of its thingy, Bob, and put your light on? There we go. Everything's breaking for Wesley today.
Humberto Ramos.
Yeah, that's lovely. It's so this is Finding Unicorn, isn't it?
Yes, this is one of the other benefits of having a friend that collects the same character is you get random messages saying, "Hey, if you need this one."
This is a good price. Pick it up.
Yeah, I did. This is with the foiling on it.
It's nice.
You don't really pay much attention, but yeah,
They're
it's
really
nice.
cards.
Numbered
They're really nice.
out of
Yeah.
100. And then
So that's the
got
Marvel
a
Evolution one.
I got a 3D printer for Christmas, and I've been working on some
Nice.
figure paintings.
Wow.
Wow.
I primed it yesterday, but it's that's the other thing I've been doing here lately a little bit. If anybody's ever, it's like a whole nother hobby. I don't know if I got time for it, but yeah,
There's
that
a
was
lot involved with that and the setup and getting it right and leveling it. So good luck.
Oh yeah. It's,
Well, it looks like you've got certain aspects of that one right.
A very good friend of mine got me. This is Rihanna Owens, right?
It is, yeah.
This is what I got for Christmas from my good friend Ian when I was going through a little bit for Christmas. Isn't that awesome?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Banging sketch
That looks
as well.
great.
It is an awesome sketch.
That looks great.
Yeah. That's thank you, Ian.
No, you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Right. So, with all that, it's been quite a lot, really. So while we say Upper Deck's kind of tenure has ended, it feels very much still we're in an Upper Deck world of things, because there's all these sets that are kind of, the ripples are still, the stones being thrown into the pond, and we're still like doing all the ripples now.
And masterpieces too.
And Masterpieces 24, which is kind of weirdly, I've seen more people. I think I've seen more people post about Matriarchs than I have about Masterpieces 24.
Because there's more hits.
Well, there are, and there's a significantly lower price point as well to buy it.
Right.
So
it's more accessible, more hits, and it's a great looking set.
So yeah, I really haven't. There's been so much, because this is probably sound a bit weird. I've really not focused at all on Masterpieces 24 because Black Cat's not in it. So I immediately put it off my radar because I have to focus where my character is. So I've been poring over eBay listings for Matriarchs and renditions and the Woman of Marvel and the Spider-Man retail set, but I've not looked at any of them for Masterpieces.
You got to fish where the fish are.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So,
so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Thanos wasn't in the newest MM. So TJ, I'm imagining you're a Thanos man. And apparently Venom is not in it either.
Correct.
So we will hopefully over the coming weeks, we will actually have a little, do a bit of a breathing room and talk about each of these sets more individually, I think, and look at their checklists and just get a sense of what they've got. And hopefully, if we can get some in hand, we'll open stuff. Yeah, that's interesting, Blake. 24 had a lot of large characters missing, and I know that the artist, I believe, had done some art for, might be Legendary.
Yeah,
sure.
And they ended up using
they ended up using that for the holofoils, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think a few people were a bit miffed at that and saying, "Oh, it's not a Masterpieces set if it's reused art."
I'll bet they didn't even tell him they were doing it.
Yeah,
right.
Say that last bit again.
I'll bet they didn't even tell him that they were going to do that.
Ah, right, okay. Well, to the comment about not using reused art, I say Marvel Masterpieces 2007-2008, which was all the Versus system art. So that's the interesting thing about this. It's like Upper Deck have done this before. There is precedent. So what they've just done with renditions, was exactly what they did with Masterpieces 2007, 2008.
Right.
They reused art that was made for cards,
which is one of
not
your
comics.
favorite sets, right? One of your favorite
Masterpieces
masterpieces?
2007 is an astonishingly overlooked set. Yeah,
Mm.
there's some really, really, really nice stuff in it. And if you look at it, it's one of there's a couple of elements that are a bugger to get, but it's a really achievable set to go in and get the full thing. A nice thick binder. You got some really great art. You got some good quality, and it's a real.
There were a few from that set. The Iron Man, the Silver Surfer. It's one of my favorite Surfer cards.
Yeah.
But
the foil X-Men subset, the foil Spider-Man subset.
Yes.
In fact, the gold border set, just generally. It's a beautiful set. Anyway, you get me started on Masterpieces 2007. We'll be all year.
Well, this new one has a different feel, but it's going to be it's going to be a little different on the way out. If it's our last masterpiece set for a while, it's certainly got a different look to it, different perspective. That heavy action sequence on all the cards.
It looks almost.
I like it.
It looks almost hyper. When I see the images, it's almost too much to take in with my eyes.
It takes a minute. Yeah, you got to look at them slowly. You take your time.
Because there's a lot of. I mean, if you think about Masterpieces 22, I guess hyper real would be a way to describe some of the artwork.
And portrait style.
But very much a stillness in it, which I think you had a bit with Palumbo's set as well. Absolutely. You had a lot of motion in Jusco's set. You had a lot of motion in Bianchi's set as well. And so now we're back to like that vibrancy of a Jusco crossed with the vibrancy of maybe a Hildebrand.
I definitely have seen or felt more towards the Hildebrand style.
Yeah, it feels more Hildebrand than
the colors, the oranging tone.
Yeah. And so much motion to it. But we will look at it in more detail, but I'm hoping to get some in hand at some point. But wow. Lots to talk about. So we're going to be covering a lot of that hopefully in the coming weeks. You'll be pleased to know I've now opened all those physical boxes of Eternals, so I won't subject you to that this episode. But
that was fun. I liked it.
I didn't. Did you? You went and watched it again, didn't you? That's right. Well done. Thank you. Checks in the mail. So, shall we talk about Topps Fanatics? Topps Fanatics. I got wind of the fact they were going to announce something on New Year's Day. Sure enough, they did. They announced Topps Disney Genesis. Give me Genesis. Sorry, I'm channeling Star Trek 2 for a minute there. So I'm gonna share my screen again. Oh my goodness me! Just hold on for the ride, guys. And you will see yourselves reflected back on you. But I'm going to go here. No, I'm not. I'm going to go here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Marvelous. Okay. So 2025 Topps Disney Genesis. Okay. It's proper high end, like Black Diamond and Premiere, but without sketches. It's 1 pack per box, 5 cards per pack. Okay. So that's the first thing to know about this one. Okay. But because it's across the entire Disney spectrum, it's Disney, it's Pixar, it's Lucasfilm, and it's Marvel. So it's a 48-point card with foil. Every card is numbered to 99 or less.
Oh, wow.
And it went like that as soon as they put it on sale. And it's immediately being resold for hundreds and hundreds.
Wow.
But, it looks nice.
Looks good.
That Spidey looks good. I'm not sure if that might be movie Spidey. I'm not sure.
Yes, that's
like
Spidey.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is in there. So there is a checklist here, which I'll click on in a moment, so we can answer the question that you're probably wondering is like, how many Marvel characters are in there? There's a nice bit of Vader look. Wolverine.
I like that. It's cool.
So they look nice. I have to say, I like the look of them better than I like the Chrome product. But of course, this one is the first one that was available to the US market. So this to all intents and purposes will be the first official domestic release featuring Marvel from Topps.
Now, does it have one card from each property in the pack, or is it just a
unclear? So yeah, they're pre-sale and it ships no later than 7th of March. Let's have a look. It's a big set as well. Look at this.
It shows 4 properties, so it might be one from each and then a hit.
It could be.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, everything's numbered.
Come on, Slinky Dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll have a look through in a minute. So you've got one box per pack. So a box is a pack, basically. There's 5 cards per pack, stroke box. They're all numbers in 99 or less. 100 base card checklist. Okay. So the base cards are numbered to 99. There's 100 of them. So just getting a base set of this product will be an unfeasibly difficult goal. Okay. Then you've got the parallels. You've got blue to 75, gold to 50, orange to 25, purple to 15, black to 10, red to 5, and silver circles to 1. Silver circles. Silver circles sounds like a retirement home somewhere near where you live, Josh.
We got
it. And it looks good. And look, there's the SKU, online exclusive. So yeah, so this one isn't going into stores. You have to be on Topps.com, and you have to be there first to get it. There's a Buzz Lightyear.
Looks like on eBay they're going for $7.99.
Oh, it's ridiculous! It's ridiculous. Wow. So can I tell you something fun? Not fun. This makes me sad. Now I know not every disclaimer, because I always get rocks thrown at me whenever I raise this. I think I disagree with this. I fundamentally disagree with this because for me, I collect cards. I don't do them to do this. When I googled this, the second top result was Resale Calendar, which is a website for people who buy stuff to flip. Look at this. Resale Calendar is the #1 source for resellers. Discover goods, keep on top of latest trends, and make them big bucks. Buy low, sell high.
And I mean,
honestly, it just makes me sick in my mouth. I mean, more power to you if you want to do that. That's fine, but
Disney has such a powerful with collectibles and everything. There's been that element with Disney from the beginning. It just doesn't shock me.
Well, with Topps releases as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this website I think covers all sorts of things like trainers, PS5s, all that sort of stuff. Sneakers as you call them. Anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time on that site. I just thought it was interesting looking at the type of product that the second top Google result was that. Over and above Topps. So let's go back to looking at the cards. They're taking the Mickey. Good old Mickey Mouse.
It's a nice card.
There's the back of one of them. So yeah, it looks cool. Let's quickly open this and see what the checklist does. What will happen when I open this? Okay. Where are we? Okay. I wouldn't say it's the best laid out checklist, but at least it's laid out. Right. Okay, they've color coded the properties. So you've got Star Wars is 1 to 20. Cards 1 to 20. And then you've got Disney, 21 to 40. Then you've got Pixar, because they split those out now. So those are the 5 properties, I guess. Then you got that. Then you got Black Cat is in it. Look.
First one.
Miles Morales, Venom.
And then look, you've got right, okay. That's Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And that's MCU.
Yep.
Blade, Gambit, Galactus.
So you've actually got 40% of the product that's Marvel.
It's a lot of Marvel. Yeah.
Well, that's
a lot of Marvel in that set. So yeah, good. Sorry, Isidore Chavez, who's Black Widow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, there's the character collectors that are carrying on, bloodied and unbowed by the recent flurry of Upper Deck products, are going to have a fun year, I think. Because if this is anything to go by, I mean, look at the way Topps are putting out products. They're going straight for this high end, limited market.
They are going to proudly use this property.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks. I mean, it does look nice, doesn't it? It looks really classy.
Now that when I first looked at it, I didn't think it looked that great, but now that I really pay attention to it, it does.
It's really clean. That's what I like about it. It's kind of got this kind of Art Deco vibe going on with some of this.
At first glance, it felt like a digital only card. It appeared that way to me, but then I read into it, and so it just has that. There's not a lot disturbing the card. It's clean.
Yeah. So clearly, their distribution model is very different. They play very much towards that online opening breaker market, especially with products like this. So it's going to be fascinating to watch how it comes out. But like I said, it sold out they went on sale and it sold out. People in group were trying to buy, and they were not getting anywhere. They were in a queue for ages and then sold out. So I think just as frustrating as some of the year one Unbound stuff. And so ships no later than March 7th. So I expect we'll see that in a couple of months' time when it comes out. And then the other one, which I think is going to be more accessible, of course, Topps Finest X-Men 97, which
looks good.
Does look pretty good actually.
It does.
Makes you smile.
But look, I mean, they've got the talent from the show involved as well. It's not on this page, but there is an auto image of the voice actor for Wolverine, for example, that's out there. Let me just open these in a separate tab so I can show you.
I was thinking about this the other day. What do you guys think about how I mean, we've already started kind of feel it. We've got all those sets that came out, but then now it's going to go back to. You think it's going to go back to like where we see a set every 3-4 months, or do you think?
I think it'll take them a while to get their gears moving. I think we've probably got a little bit of breathing room. I mean, let's face it, not everyone's going to be able to get into Genesis, and the opportunity to buy, apart from secondary now, is gone. Mm-hmm. So unless you're willing to pay that inflated flipper price, you are now going to have to wait until end of Feb, March. I mean, it says ships no later than March 7th, but it could ship earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on just logistics, really. How much? Yeah. How much was the development team given a heads up that this was coming to them, and how much time did they have to work on it, and how much time do they need?
Yeah. Says that, and then of course you got Topps Finest X-Men, which let's click on this little link to the D23 link. So Topps Finest X-Men, I think, is going to be later in Q1 as well, kind of towards March. Let's have a look. Does it actually tell us? Same images as Genesis here, same images of those. Actually, Topps Finest X-Men is saying late January on this article on Disney. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, I'll take it all back. So that's coming soon. I don't know. Thoughts?
That's two right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, what say you? You excited?
To me, I would almost think that they would, with a big company like that, they would have something for us to really buy right away, right?
Sure.
To me, it feels like they're unprepared. But
possibly,
I guess that's what I feel, because I'm used to seeing something every day almost, with
rapid fire.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sorry, that was a great comment. Why does Wolverine look like he needs to poop? Which, to be fair, Wolverine often does look like he needs to poop. That's just his general, his kind of resting bitch face, if you like.
It is.
But can I just say, Trekcast, whoever Trekcast is, I want a piece of your action, because I'm my affinity for Trek, so I'm going to be checking out Trekcast, the Star Trek podcast. I read the tiny little avatar there. So yeah, DM me, Trekcast. Let's talk. Interesting.
But I wouldn't give them a U yet on their report card. I wouldn't call them unprepared.
No,
they've got 2 sets to start the year off.
Yeah,
let's see where they go from here. If they announced nothing this whole month and didn't release anything this month, I would definitely be dogging them a lot more.
I think they've had a lot more lead time than we think. I think I first heard rumors of the license moving in February or March 2024. So if we assume it was at least a 9-month lead in.
As far as like a set that we're more interested in, the general public that covers an entire, roster of characters, you could give them a U on that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it could be the fact that they're just doing smart business and they're doing the whole supply and demand thing, having us anticipate.
Right.
Possibly.
Buying some stuff, selling boxes for $900 a box.
What allows some pent up demand to build. I think the weird difference is that gap between kind of COVID and then the release of Spider-Man Metal Universe. You had all that pent up demand. I don't think it's the same now. I think if you paused for a bit, Upper Deck have put out so much product that people are still going to be going at a fairly good clip just to catch up on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if there's shiny sparkle.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. But EPAC will still have its people buying, and they'll just migrate. I think a lot of those will just migrate onto the DC stuff. A lot of that is almost product agnostic for a lot of the people who buy on EPAC, So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I don't know. Like I said, I'm surprised they haven't announced more. Even if it's like, okay, this isn't going to be available till the autumn.
Right.
Right.
Where's our Marvel Masterworks? Marvel Stellar. Right. Whatever, all their different lines that they've got. I don't know. Maybe
their Masterworks is the top end stuff, right? That's their high
Masterworks
end.
is top end. Stellar, to be fair, Stellar is a signature set. It's like one box, one signature.
Okay.
Comes in a top loader kind of vibe. So I don't know if they'd ever put that sort of product out for Marvel. It would only really work for MCU, I guess. But we've been more than well served from MCU stuff recently. So again, I don't know. It's a difficult one, really.
I think we need a little bit more time. I think you're right. There's a lot to digest with the last few releases, and there's just some more legs to that before we get in and really see what Topps has done. And it's going to take time.
Plus, of course, Unbound Year 3. I'm assuming at some point in the next few hours, we're going to hear about who tomorrow's character is going to be. Right. Because they didn't put the rest of it out before 31st of December. They've said they can carry on selling it. So I'm assuming, as the product's already been printed and released, they're allowed to carry on releasing it weekly until whenever that finishes, which I think is March. So it's going to be weird.
That far into...
Well, unless they suddenly accelerate it and start releasing 2 for all the rest of the run in one go. But if I was a betting man, I'd have put money on the fact they'd have done that before 31st of December. But they haven't.
Yeah. I think they're going to slow play it as long as they can.
So, so it's weird. I don't think anyone anticipated we'd have quite this much of a crossover. Might be the wrong word, but it fits.
It's hard to give it its proper moratorium too, because there's still plenty of stuff coming out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you said at the top of the show, are we going to do our review? In fact, I think you said that before we came on air. I was like, I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I need to, I'm still stood here blinking, and I feel like there's still bombs falling all around me from all the new sets that have come out. So I don't know if I've got the perspective yet to do a bit of an overview. Plus, it'll take one of us quite a while to do a list.
There were so many releases this year.
Oh my god! It's like, oh my god!
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
never seen anything like it.
One of us.
I mean,
Upper Deck is circling the ring. I ain't hear no bell yet.
I know. Well, this is why. Someone did post on the group, and I was, I don't know. It was a bit. Let me find it. Let me find this post.
I think I know.
There's been a couple little spicy comments regarding kind of this Upper Deck, stopping with or losing the license and then moving over to Topps. There's been a couple little spicy comments on group about it.
Yeah. Well, the post I'm pulling up is literally, anyone else happy Upper Deck's run has ended?
The first comment's great too.
And well, I'm waiting for it to load on my.
What was it?
It's something like, someone want to clip this and check back on this in 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, well, I said something similar actually, but I think I posted it without reading previous comments, which no one on Facebook ever does. They did release flagship on the Tops app, so I think that is coming as well. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. A lot of the production on this would have been done already for the Tops Collect app, so they could easily start releasing products and just start printing stuff they've actually already designed. So, yeah. Justin's here. Spidey hits. There's a Tops MCU
Justin.
Phase 1 release coming in February, and then in March there'll be Tops Crow Marvel Comics.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Phase 1. Phase 1? Phase 1? Phase 1's not been done before. Not been done at all. Phase 1. That's interesting because I remember I've definitely had conversations with Upper Deck where Marvel / Disney had steered them to say, okay, we're done now. We want you to stop releasing Phase 1 to 3 products. We want you to move on. So it'd be interesting that they've decided to allow Tops to go back to the well. Justin, I don't want to think of all the Phase 1 autos coming. I'm so sorry. I just can't do it.
What does that mean?
Honestly,
what is Phase 1 of what? Like the MCU stuff?
MCU.
Or?
Yeah. Phase 1 of the MCU.
Everything up until Avengers Endgame.
1, 2, and 3.
No. Phase 1 is
Avengers.
the
first Avengers.
first Avengers.
Yeah,
movie.
first Avengers.
Okay.
Avengers Assemble. It was called over
I
here.
see.
So you've got what? Phase 3 ends with Endgame, right? Infinity War and Endgame. And
Yeah,
then
that's right.
4 is your post stories to everything.
4 is first official
right.
first film of 4. I think is Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think is the first official. No, it might actually be the last official one of Phase 3. I can't remember.
Well, Doctor Strange was post Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness was firmly Phase 4. Yeah.
Yep.
I just wasn't sure if they maybe came up with a new wording for like the first.
No, I don't think they'll go start
Upper Deck
changing.
stuff or something.
I don't think they'll start changing it. So anyway, anyone else happy Upper Deck's run has ended? The reason I've brought this post up is because there was an interesting reply there from someone at Upper Deck. Billy Celio commented, "Nope," and I responded to that. But fuck me, you guys went down swinging. I can't wait to see your next non-sports set. And Billy did reply to that. Bear with me, my computers. I wouldn't call it swinging. I'd call it we as a team put a lot of work into some products that we didn't want the public and fan base to miss out on. There's a lot of original art that we wanted people to be able to collect or collect a different way. Very happy with the total team effort it took to get these projects out before the license ran out. Obviously, we wish we could have spaced it out like we anticipated, but we were up against the clock. So I think that's an interesting thing. I mean, he doesn't.
So they've been pants on fire for 3 months, just
basically, yeah. I mean, he. I said, just take the compliment and get back to work. But I think it's interesting. Yeah, I know. Amanda piped in and said, Billy, do you remember we talked about the fact that you can't take compliments, something like that? But I think it's. I think it's too early to say, really. I mean,
yeah, it's just going to take time, and things naturally with Tops feel different. The parallels feel different. The cards feel different. Those crazy character autos were an awful idea. Some of the stuff they'll need time to iron some stuff out and get to where. But I honestly think they're hoping to get to where Upper Deck was and what they did with the IP. They for how long was the run to do it at that high a level for that long?
Exclusively, they had 10 years, but so longer than that if you count the crossover with Rittenhouse.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique time, but they put together a great body of work, and I certainly don't. I'm not naive to think that there's not more involved, but I don't believe they deserve to lose the IP. I'm sure it had to do with deals and logistics and money, and obviously, so but the effort they put forward with their releases over the last 15 years has been, I mean, it's created markets.
And you said something about a crossover, like it. So obviously, Rittenhouse and Upper Deck had a period of time where there was a crossover. So does anybody remember how long that was? Is that going to be something that's going to be about the same?
I think it was 5 years. Best part of. I remember Steve Charandoff at Rittenhouse said that it was kind of a sub-license. He did. I can't remember the phrasing now. You'd need to go back and check out the episode, which is available. But yeah, that was a long period where they were.
That's different because they both kind of had the license.
So Fleer Retro was coming out at the same time as some of the later, Rittenhouse sets. They were happening at the same time, but it's gonna feel different. The approach to the design is going to look different. I mean, you've already seen from that Disney Genesis set. The cards look very different. There's a different ethos about them. Obviously, they don't have EPAC, but they're doing things in a different way. So they're still generating that exclusivity from the off by the product design, but also by the limited release, the online release only. I know that Topps have got a very firm foothold on all the retail verticals. They put out product. I mean, you can go downstairs right now.
Anytime you go to Target or Walmart,
they own it.
Topps.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can go downstairs to Barnes & Noble right now and you could buy a Topps product pretty much any time you go in there. Whereas it's always been hit and miss as to whether they'd have any Upper Deck Marvel stuff.
Right.
So it's going to be very different. Listen, don't get me wrong, I love EPAC. I think there's a lot of good and bad about EPAC, but I think there's equally different challenge mechanic involved in chasing sets that only come out in physical. And I think a lot of newer collectors are going to have a learning curve with that. I've kind of had that for pre-EPAC people will remember the fun and challenge of finding stuff on eBay and the leaning into the eBay searchness of it. So I think it's a different way. You've just got to prepare yourself differently. You've got to study the checklist, make sure you know what's out there, and get your keywords set up and keep an eye on it, and keep an eye on ComC as well. But of course, these days, the extra element that you didn't have in the pre-EPAC period from Upper Deck is you've got Whatnot and Online Breakers, which simply didn't exist before. You remember QVC, the shopping channel?
Yeah, I do.
They're still out there.
But what I'm saying is Whatnot has turned individual collectors, buyers, flippers, investors, whatever you want to call them, into QVC hosts.
It's the Wild West.
It's the same. It's the same thing. And if you watch, I've only ever watched a couple of Whatnots because I don't have the time, or I refuse to give the app my data because I'm a stubborn bastard who works in data security and information security and data compliance and data protection. And I think I have some issues with the way Whatnot do stuff. But the main thing is that, I mean, look at the amount of energy Billy V, Watch Me Open, was putting into that stream he did for Keith on his Whatnot.
Right, yeah. That was...
Yep.
And then he literally collapsed at the end of it and was comatose for like 2 hours.
Yes, he did.
But yeah.
But it brings a showmanship to things in some aspects. And there are a lot of shows where guys are just out there opening stuff. They've got no cadence. Their voice is terrible. They're smudging up the cards. And they don't know what they're opening either. Those are my favorite.
I saw a Dave and Adams break recently of Women of Marvel that was just that.
Oh, that was...
Oh. It was just, I was just watching it and thinking, I'm glad he's not opening my packs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I was actually thinking about that QVC thing the other day. Like, it's almost like it's kind of cyclical, right? Like things come back and it's
but TJ, not Upper Deck TJ, hunting pre-internet was just more fun, comics and cards, so but yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't really I'm kind of reliant solely on eBay and ComC.
Yeah, sometimes like down here in South Florida, you're at the end of a distribution chain, so like you're not going to catch Marvel Upper Deck stuff, and even the Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. You get lucky every once in a while, but it's not. Even though you've got some big cities, you're at the tail end. So EPAC saves some places.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do without EPAC. That's saved me.
You'd think being where I'm at, you'd be able to get, just about anything here, but it really depends on, size of the city you're next to and orientation sometimes.
Yeah, and, I mean, I live in a college town, and it's really the only Upper Deck is like the blasters, and it's hit or miss. And I talked to the guy who stocks the Target cards and he said it's just whatever the distributor sends to them. And it's with Barnes and Noble, so it's not like they place an order for it. It's they get a box, and
it's the same thing with Target too.
Yeah,
they don't get a choice. It's just whatever that guy that shows up and restocks it every week.
Yeah, the guy at Target that does that for the stores told me that. So, and it's weird. Like I think I told y'all that they're still there and they're not on sale, so that's why I haven't bought them. But Flitter Ultra Avengers blaster shows up at Target, and that's been a year and a half that those came out. So it's weird what shows
that's
up.
Interesting,
right?
And you will see that drip feed. I think these retail sets we might see around for a little bit.
But even like post COVID at the card shop near me, I had to request anything if I wanted it. Marvel. He wasn't stocking. He wasn't going to stock it.
Yeah,
he had no desire to stock it and was not planning to stock it.
Yeah,
unless it was a cheap product, he'd get annual like on his own. But if I wanted metal or masterpieces, I had to like pre-order, give him the money.
So he wouldn't kind of take the risk, if you like. He'd just
nope. And there was no deal either. Like he would just go on DACA. I could see him doing it and look at the current price, and that's what he would charge me.
Yep.
Wow.
Mine was the same thing, and actually, there's a little bit of a cool story about it. Is like he wouldn't. He had a place in his shop that was kind of like my corner that had Marvel stuff he would get here and there, and it turned out that he ended up from this last Masterpieces set. He found some stuff that he basically turned into a Thanos collector. So he he decided to start collecting.
You got him hooked on the juice.
I got him hooked on the juice.
Now he's on it.
Yep. He's sent some stuff out right away to get graded. And it's now it's a whole different conversation talking to him now.
Right.
Well, he converted one.
Yeah.
Which is good
for the team.
Yeah, I showed up to our LCSs and they were no, anything. And then all of a sudden it turned into they bought one case of just about every major release. They just stay away from stuff like annual or beginnings.
Interesting. Okay.
And so there's always one case of Avengers Metal. There's one case of XL.
Good for you.
So it's nice to see, but you can't. There's no deals to be had. You can't buy anything larger than just a couple boxes. But at least now there's one case of just about every major release over at East West.
That's interesting.
So it's changed. They've started to see the value in the breaks
and I've got no shortage of comic shops near me whatsoever. Like it's very manageable. Within 30 minutes, I can go to about 4 or 5 different shops, and they just have nothing. And when I ask for it, they're like, "I've got this," and they'll show me 92 or 90. Someone's binder that's been sitting and I'm like, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. I was pretty involved with comic collecting and know a lot of shop owners and collectors in town. And then when I started transitioned into cards, I talked about Marvel cards, and these are people that collected the 90s or owned stores in the 90s. And when you bring up Marvel cards, it's almost like a PTSD moment for them, because there was and you'll talk to people that have some 90s cards. And you say, oh yeah, Marvel's still producing stuff, and it's like you're speaking another language. They haven't looked in, they don't understand. You explain it to them, and they just don't. There's like a blinder or a blissful ignorance.
You go into anything past 2016 and the low serial number and the whole new blueprint model of them. They have
you have no clue.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to say, here's the thing. When we had Chris Carlin from Upper Deck on a few years ago, he was saying the reason they've got so many, they've kind of stopped. I think they've kind of worked through all their supply now. But you remember all those replacements were stuff from 2013 or 2015 Flurry Retro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that set was ahead of its time because they literally couldn't sell it. They ended up having most of it go back to the distribution center, which is why they had so many to use as replacements. They literally couldn't sell it.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? The market just wasn't there for that kind of higher end. You know, they tried something. Now, if they brought that product out now, people would absolutely feast, and people have gone back and rediscovered it. But at the time, they, you know, apart from some hardcore Marvel collectors, there are a lot more Marvel card collectors now than there were 10 years ago. But they literally couldn't shift it, so they had all this distressed inventory go back to them, which is why they were issuing all those replacement cards. Chris explained it in a far better way. I'm paraphrasing, with 2 years worth of memory loss. But go back and check it out. It's a fascinating interview, and there's some kind of secrets there. What I'd really love to do is, I'm aware that anyone who leaves Upper Deck is under a period where, for a certain number of years, where they can't talk. They're under a kind of an NDA kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Once that NDA is passed, I'm sure they can probably have a good old chat about how they did
to release the.
So, now I don't know if he will, because Chris Carlin is still very senior in the industry. He's now at Collectors, so he works at PSA, and he's very visible. And he is going to come on this show, and I am going to meet him in Chicago at the National in July. But I'd love to think that when he's past that 2 year point, he might come on and have a chat about stuff. But then again, he might not, because he's still very much in the industry and probably doesn't want to shit where he eats. Whereas, do you remember Upper Deck Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the first kind of visible person.
The first
Upper Deck.
one.
Yeah. And he left Upper Deck over 3 years ago now. Over 3 years ago. So, yeah, I'd love to have him come back on, because Anime 1, that was his. Largely. His fingerprints are all over it. If I might have misremembered that, so apologies to the team at Upper Deck if I've misremembered that and given credit where it's not due. But you know, everyone who works at Upper Deck who creates a social media account specifically for their Upper Deck role prefaces it with UD or Upper Deck, which actually Facebook doesn't like you doing. They call them grey. Here's a thing from social media marketing 101. If you create a work account that's not your own personal account for Facebook, Facebook call them grey accounts. And if they actively find out about them, they will remove them.
Wow.
So, you know, when working as I did at an agency that did social media marketing, if I wanted access to all the business manager and ads assets in Facebook, I had to connect my personal account to the work business manager account. Which is fine, but what if I don't want to get work-related stuff in my personal Facebook feed when I'm at home on vacation at weekends? Do you see what I mean?
Right.
So it's a bit of a funny one. Anyway, but yeah, no, Upper Deck Matt, he's a good guy. Good guy. I think he's our first Upper Deck guest, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he came on apropos of nothing, possibly without approval. Hopefully
the legal team had to work on that one for a few months.
Yeah, and maybe that might be what finished him off. Anyway, but yeah, it's they're a lovely team. I'm going to miss speaking to them, because I don't think, obviously, now that the license has ended, I'd love for them to come and talk about some of this stuff, but
they just can't. You know, and why would they?
Yeah, and they're moving on. You know,
guys like TJ and Grant,
as a business, you know, they're looking forward. You know, they're not being paid to come on and talk about a license they've now lost and promote it. So I'm hoping at some point, you know, once the dust has settled, there'll be a little bit of latitude there to maybe do a retrospective to chat about some of these sets that we didn't get to talk about.
Right.
You know, the Masterpieces 92 Platinum, the Matriarchs renditions, stuff like that. But
I'd like to hear from them the stuff we never got to see.
Well, yes, someone's actually just put a comment in the chat. Let me scroll up, because it's been getting busy in there. Someone put a comment in the chat that said, I think it was Alan Michael. Alan's a dude, good dude. Now I'm wondering what art or sets didn't make it out. I mean, I know of one, Rogue's Gallery. Didn't make it out.
And what?
I'm just wondering with the you know that other site where you could buy the retrospectives and stuff like that from the big posters, the other Upper Deck site.
Oh,
you can buy
gallery.
art. Yeah. So does that include that licensing as well? Is it everything Marvel, or could they put out giant prints of some of these art pieces?
That's the thing, because I think the TCG stuff is a separate license.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they can put out prints of some of these art that we'll never see on cards, because they do. They release prints all the time.
Possibly.
That's a good question.
Apparently there was a new Flair. Yes, I'd heard about this actually. New Flair retro set. And I know there was some MCU set. I mean, a lot of collectors are mainly focused on the comic side, but I know from the MCU side, Quantum Mania, I didn't make it.
No, even though it was advertised on David Allen forever.
There was something else. There were quite a few of those MCU releases that didn't make EPAC as well. So there's a lot of EPAC specials and achievements that we won't see from sets that we have seen, which is why I love it when you put an offer on something and you say, I'm firm at this. This is my firm offer. He replies, counter you at this. It's like, no. I use the word firm, and I did that for a reason. Because your price does not make me firm.
There's been a lot of issue with vocabulary and what the words mean lately.
Give me an example there, Keith. Because
near mint.
Near mint. Oh well, we'll talk about that in a moment. Yes, definitely, we'll talk about that. This was a fun one this week.
Oh my.
I mean, first of all, let me preface this by saying, in case anyone saw one now deleted comment where I said I agreed with the guy. Initially, I was a bit like, why is someone posting about this? Because it's not your listing and yada yada yada. Someone posted an image of the Wolverine. What set was it? Wasn't Fleer Ultra Wolverine?
Fleer Ultra Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns, Black Opal 1/1 medallion. Now, those Fleer Black Opal medallions, certainly a lot of the ones I've seen, have got issues with their printing. Case in point, someone had got the Scarlet Spider one and had graded it, and it got free. And I was like, let this be listen, I've said it all along. If you want to grade it, fine. It's your card. Do what you want with it. Poke it up your bum for all I care. However, you don't need to. You can authenticate and encapsulate it, because as soon as you put the grade on there, that Black Opal 1/1,
it's graded forever.
Slight production damage has got a value. If you put a number on there and you roll that dice and take a risk and it comes back a free, it's devalued.
There's no reason to do that. Not 1/1.
So anyway. So this guy's got the Wolverine. I'm not going to mention his name because that's not fair. But he had posted it on group for sale. Didn't get any takers. I think on that post, I remember looking at the sales post, and he'd had it. Someone say, "Can you post better?" One of the moderators said, "Can you post better pictures of this?" And you could see it was damaged, and I think there was talk about the fact that it was damaged. So anyway. So fast forward to a few days ago, someone posts an image from an eBay listing. So it's gone onto eBay, and it's described as near mint. And the argument of the owner, I can see someone arriving at that logic. I can see the logic steps within one's brain. The problem is, it's built on a house of lies. Because the expression near mint related to cards doesn't work like this. And basically, he'd said, because it was from the pack, and I just put it straight into this. And now, for me, that was near mint, because it's the assumption that when you open a card, it's near mint from the pack, which has never been true. Look at Marvel Universe 1990. Hello. And so he'd put it on eBay as such. And it's got a massive, I don't know if you saw it, had a massive white kind of mark on it. It looked like one of Wolverine's claws.
It's a good, like, the spaghetti strand thickness line going through the card.
Yeah.
That just very
semicircular kind of crescent kind of vibe. Which is a real shame because it's probably I'd say it's one of the worst ones I've seen. And I've seen about 4 that have got similar damage.
Here's what's funny about it is the location of it. If you look at the initial post, there's a bunch of people that are like, I don't see what's wrong. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like how many people that would go and buy it think that that's part of the card naturally?
Well, it's a light ring.
Right. Right.
Because it looks like a light ring.
Because it's not disclosed in the sales post. So how many people would have thought, oh, wow, that looks like it belongs on the card. Get the card and be like, oh, this card's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was an interesting one. Listen, I really... I don't want to piss on someone's chips here. I feel for the guy. Biggest hit he'll probably ever have in any product ever, and it's fucked up out of the pack. That's not his fault.
Right.
It's just that's a really bad karma hand.
And all the joy too. Like it was a single pack that he got at a hobby store. Like the story is great. But yeah, dude, it is what it is.
That's such a shame. Especially because there's no replacement of it.
Yeah,
and I say that with a slight nod and a wink. But anyway, but yeah, no, he's right. I mean, people said, did you approach them and yada yada. I can't remember the details. I think he had considered it, or he did email them or something like that. It's been very, very much a no. We're not doing anything about stuff like that anymore from Upper Deck recently.
Yeah, he got shut down.
So, what are you going to do? There's still only one of them out there. It does still have a value for that reason. There's only one out there. It just happens to be a flawed copy. So, it doesn't mean it's worthless.
No.
But because of the fact that this is what it was to me. So that's out the pack. So therefore, it's near mint. Was kind of the argument,
that's
I believe, Keith.
Again. I can see what you're saying by that, but you have to have the experience.
Yeah. No, I've lived the experience on a lower scale. I had a Wolverine Shadow Box from Premiere.
Okay.
And I was like super excited, over the moon that I had it. And then finally someone called it out and said, hey, is that a line on it? And I never even noticed. I was like, oh shit, is that? I flip it over and sure as shit, and when you get a line on a plastic card, that's a line. There's no buffing. There's no nothing.
Yep.
It's there.
Yeah.
So I did end up selling it. I sold it to a Wolverine guy who was looking for it. I mean, initially I thought it was a $700 plus card. I think he ended up giving me $150, $200 or something like that because there was still rarity to it.
Yeah,
but it was clearly damaged. So
it's
I
a
had no
placeholder,
problem.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I had no problem passing that off and getting a limited ROI on it and helping that guy out. So
yeah.
But again, it was disclosed to me. I didn't realize it at first. His is a lot more blatant.
Yeah, and then some. So I'm hoping, for all of our sakes, Wesley, that the black cat from Matriarchs, the black one of one,
has a nasty line on it.
Is quite so. Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Maybe that we're working in our favor. Who knows?
That brings up a good point because that particular Scarlet Spider I followed on eBay, and I can remember when it was down to the last 30 seconds on it, and I made a bid. And it was attainable. It wasn't something that was crazy because it was a little messed up. But 3, whoops.
Do you remember how much it went? I'm assuming that was a raw sale, and someone's then gone and got it graded.
Yeah, it was like $300 to $500.
Okay.
I think it went for like $420.
All right.
You can probably look it up on eBay.
Someone's done the whole, I'll buy it, I'll grade it, and I'll be able to flip it for more thing. And then got a free.
But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I find that really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I've seen a few of them with just a straight line going across the middle at the 50-yard line, just straight across. Yeah, where it's impossible not to look at, and it's so consistent of a flaw that it does almost look like, at first glance, you could maybe think it's part of the card design.
Well, then, that ended up being part of the argument too, because he was saying like, well, it's well known that all of these have this line, so find me one that isn't.
Always in the same place though, and certainly I've never seen one quite.
They're
like
not.
That, so.
I've seen most of them cut right across the middle of the character, but I've seen someone that were far north and stuff.
Yeah. Because you often see horizontal, very faint horizontal lines on.
That's what I'm used to
seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Flurry Spider-Man had them where the layers of foil overlapped, and that you know that's kind of a production process thing. And you know, but they all go through machines, as evidenced by Masterpiece's 2020 sketch cards. That all had that. You know, a lot of them had that tearing from where it had been fed through. So. I can only imagine it's a miscalibrated machine in a similar way on the production of that particular card, because it's a pretty gnarly thing, and it's not consistent with the way the foiling application would go, which is vertical. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. I feel for the guy, but I think there's a place. You know, two things can be true: the card is fucked, the card is desirable.
Right.
Yeah.
You've just got to be able to put those together and just listen to advice from other people in the hobby to make those two things come together, and you've still got something that has a value to someone. You know, you can still.
It is not worthless.
You can still realize. Yeah, you can still realize some profit on that card if that's your goal. Certainly worth more than the back he paid.
For sure, but it wasn't going to be where he thought it was going to be.
No. So I think that's. I think there's a humility to being able to listen to the advice that you're being given by people who've kind of been in the hobby a lot longer than you. That is difficult to accept for some people. I get it. You know, I'm as guilty of that as anyone. Yeah. You know. But it's it's a shame. It's a shame because I'm sure if he'd hung around and not physically threatened to go to someone's house and hit them, then he could have actually made the sale at some point in the group. But, it got ugly.
Little extreme.
TC Wallets and more on the mod team. I'm sure you had some very vibrant discussions about that behind the scenes.
I was shocked it went on as long as it did, but it was true. It was pretty healthy. Nobody got at anybody.
No, and he was, even the people talking to the guy who owned this card were, by their own standards, a lot more measured than they normally are.
Right. I was shocked by that.
So I was proud of the community's consistency on that one, shall we say?
Yeah.
So that was fun. So that happened. How about you? Anything fun happened this week? What? Yeah, as Pete just said, here we go. It was a healthy discussion, and then it wasn't. And then it wasn't. Yeah, it did remind me of that. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's that meme of like some old English dude in the 1700s, and he's got his glasses. He's looking at a book like this, and he's got me reading the comments of 300 strangers on Facebook at 2 in the morning. It's like, because it did go on. I went to bed. I looked at it the following morning, and it was like, fuck. Anyway, so that was fun. That happened. What are you? Just before we wrap up, what's the kind of collective? Obviously we've got some Topps products coming up that you may or may not be looking forward to. What is your kind of vibe over the next month, 2 months? What are you going to be kind of focusing on? What are you going to be kind of hoping to pick up? What do you want to revisit? Or are you going to hold out for some top stuff? Where's your head at with what you guys are collecting?
Can I say find a job?
Find a job, because unfortunately, Wesley, this sure as shit doesn't pay.
He's collecting job applications.
Actually, I'm focusing right now on EPAC and just working on trades and picking up little stuff here and there, and then also taking the stuff I do got to clean it up, desirable, maybe shipping it over to ComC. I wonder if ComC is going to be crazy over the next couple months with the amount of stuff that it's already been a little crazy with the amount of stuff that people selling.
Yeah.
And then once it gets down to, some of that numbered stuff gets down to 1 or 2, 3 cards. I've seen, there was 2 Midnight Suns cards to 20 to 25, 35. And they were both selling for $3 a piece. And there's the last two. And I thought that's a good price. And I bought both of them. And then, just because there was nothing on there, somebody put one on a week later for $40. So it's
you can set your own price when there's just one on there. Yeah.
I do wonder about that if big whales are going to move entire collections over to ComC and just say take it, or if they're going to hold on to it because they can trade it for life, and if they're the only ones with it on there to trade it for life,
there'll be a middle ground. They'll move stuff over to ComC and then put it at a really high price and just let it sit there.
Yeah.
I wonder if ComC is ever going to get to a point to where you can do a little trading on there.
Interesting.
Well, right now there's with Masterpieces 24, there is always a dip in the last. Yeah, it's what have you done for me lately? So if you're looking for 22 stuff, now's not a bad time, especially if you're making trade offers on EPAC and stuff like that. There's a lot of people.
It's a good call out.
They mentally devalue the last Masterpiece set.
The newest, shiniest stuff is often the most sought after.
Right off the top, about a fourth right off the top, and you can make some decent deals if you were looking to. And you're patient with your Masterpieces. Like 24 here, I'd love to get a box and open it up, but I'm going to let everybody else do it and go ahead and thank them for it, and then make my selections. And then once everything 24 has been almost opened everywhere, then I'll work on a base set and work on a.
I mean, I won't be. I still haven't finished 20. I still haven't finished 2020. So I need to finish that. I mean, I'm not massively far away, but I just, there's been so much stuff come out. That's the thing. You have to leave what you're working on there to go make sure you don't miss out on this before the stuff dries up. And then, something's always peaking. I mean, the other day I was lucky enough to sell a couple of cards on ComC that I had sat there. I had an extra $100 or something on credit. I think I had 150 in total. I spent 105 of it, and I got pretty much half of the Black Cat Rainbow from Platinum.
Oh, nice.
Because it was all getting dumped on ComC.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to hurry with Masterpieces 92 Platinum. A, because I know for a fact it's been printed up the Swahili. So there's a hell of a lot of it out there. Not much of it made it onto EPAC, but enough, to bottom out the prices on stuff. So that's bound to impact on the value of physical boxes, because people are going to be like, oh, do I want to break this open? Do I want to buy this at this price? So I think the physical boxes are going to start to come down as well, if they haven't already.
That's right.
Yeah. I know this is probably, but I have seen some pretty low prices on some Rittenhouse boxes. I mean, lower than I've normally seen. So
that's because people have moved on. The herders grazed on that particular meadow, and are onto other things now. So, but the Rittenhouse stuff, you can get some really good. I mean, listen, the really, really special like case topper stuff and more limited stuff, especially on the sketch side of things. A lot of that is locked up, but still get a sketch per box.
Right.
Yeah.
You still get some absolute bangers. Rittenhouse stock is just amazing, as you can tell, Wesley, from your in-hand experience there. So but they literally don't make them like that anymore, because the days of a sketch per box, that's
over.
That's over. Was it Masterpieces 22 was the last one that would have done that?
I believe.
Did they even do that?
No, I believe 22 did.
Did it one sketch per box?
Almost positive.
Might be the last product then.
I think so, because I got two. I had two boxes. I had two.
I've got an empty box somewhere.
Let's see.
That's right. I pulled a Rogue sketch by Elise Strong. That's right.
I was going to say, the other guy, Mike, who had that third box, got the Lydia Lee Venom in his third box.
Yeah, it is 2020.
2020. Here we go. Alan, Michael, Alonso, they know better than me. Yeah, 2020 was the last. Wow. I remember that was the norm. I mean, that was the big sale.
It's what we got used to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
it's
the thing. You get
expectation.
used to it. But with how difficult it's been to get sketches approved.
What hooked me?
Licensor. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, sketches.
I opened a 2018 box of Bianchi, and that's what got me.
Yeah, that's why I bought a 2018 box, was to get a sketch. I've moved on since then, but that was the hook.
My first box of 16, I got a Wolverine sketch that I was, regardless of how I felt about sketches, I was in at that point. I was like, this is awesome.
My first Marvel.
Take that comment off the screen. It makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I
was going to say, I remember the absolute rage and fuss in MMC when the box price of Masterpieces 2020 was announced. People were absolutely, I mean, their collective piss was boiling. I shit you not. And there was one person got in such a rage. I think we had to remove him from the group because he was so angry and he was just venting. And now, $250 a box for a Masterpieces product.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan's not wrong.
He's
we
right.
are the old people.
He's right.
Red cigarettes for a nickel.
Yeah.
What's a nickel? Asking for an English friend. Actually, what isn't? Is it 10?
5 cents.
Oh no, a dime is 10. There we go. Of course, decimal.
5 cents.
Okay. Right.
Quid.
Oh, I don't know. Pound. Go on. You might get hit by a bus tomorrow. Have a fag. Does anyone here smoke, by the way?
I use other tobacco products.
Thing. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I do still.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Did you wave your hand too, Josh?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Are you still on tobacco products, or are you vaping these days?
No, I quit for a couple of years for a while and used a vape. That was awesome. Okay. Worked out good. But back on the hard tobacco.
Yeah.
I use regular
Fab Lab. Good morning, gentlemen. Fab Lab. That's a brilliant name. Fab Lab. Alan Michael, not tobacco. Mind you, Alan's just smoking anyway.
Yeah, that's a given.
He's a very impressive looking man. Good. All right. Let's. Did we finish? Sorry, we got into a bit of a tangent about masterpieces and sketches there. Did anyone else have anything to share about what they were kind of looking forward to doing and getting into, or focusing on over the next month or two?
I've got my couple more for the Rainbow of War Machine from Avengers Metal. So thank you, Jason, Wes. You guys helped me out a little bit. I got just a couple.
I still need to send you the Grandiose. I've got it somewhere.
Oh, appreciate it. But getting down there, I found the green for $450 or just over $4. I thought that was an awesome price on the green PMG. Yeah. So because I've got the red, the blue, the white diamond from EPAC. The white diamond is beautiful. Those cards are way under the radar. Yeah, because it's not listed to 25 on the back.
Yeah.
And you've got to be careful about which one you select because they didn't put precious metal gems on all of them. It's not a high series, low series thing. It's like a character thing. Some people just got screwed because if that card doesn't have the serial numbering is not crucial, but if it doesn't have precious metal gem white diamond on the back, it's just
Yeah.
So some people really got bummed out there, but
I've got one right here somewhere.
Yeah, check your character.
I'm hearing the Spectrum parallel on that set is supposed to be gorgeous as well.
I got one,
not the PMG. Yeah.
I've got one of those as well.
While we're waiting for you to find it, we're going to post up TJ, not from Upper Deck, has been tobacco free since April. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, congrats, TJ.
There is a really dirty joke about smoking, but I cannot possibly say it on the internet because I will get cancelled. Right, what we got here? Let me put this up.
That's the Spectrum, but it's. I'll post a picture and put it on group.
It's hard to see the difference.
Spectrum, it's hard to see, but it is. It's got a nice little rainbow tint to it.
Yeah.
So.
Are you about to pull something else out? Are you still looking for it?
Yeah, I had it earlier.
White diamond.
Now I can't find it.
Yeah.
I know they even on the even online, the White Diamond look like they're pretty cool looking cards. So I bet in person they probably
they are. Yeah. I got some of my Stingray Marvel Metal in a couple weeks ago, and I really liked the blue.
Oh,
yeah,
that is nice.
The blue PMG.
There's a nice luminescence to it.
Yeah, whatever shade of blue they've been using on their cards has been nice lately.
Yeah, the reds look good. Nice, deep, strong red with the luminescence.
Yeah, the reds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I picked up an orange on ComC for it was an Omega Alpha and Omega number, the orange Stingray, and it was like $7 or $8.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah. So now's the time to go shopping on ComC, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the lesson there?
Yeah, that was a Christmas Day pickup. That was cool. Well, son of a gun, I don't.
Little present to yourself, Jason.
Aha, there it is.
Oh, he's found it. Right, hang on. Jason's coming back onto the big screen. There we go. Right, what is it? I've forgotten what you were looking for. What is this?
White Diamond PMG.
Does it say PMG like
precious metal gems on it?
It does. Yeah.
On the back.
Good.
Yours doesn't say it on the front?
It does on the
front. It was bottom left.
Yeah, see, so some of them, that's where people are getting upset because some of them, it does not have that.
And it's number 2.
20.
Well, it's supposed to be 25, but it's not.
There's only 25 produced for every character. So he's got.
I mean, I've seen some and I've been tempted, but sometimes I'll go for it if I like the art on any of them, but none of them are really singing to me. This set.
It's a different, like when you get all the other PMGs lined up, you can see this like difference in the White Diamond. It's kind of like a pearlescent textured look.
Yeah.
So having them all next to each other, it's nice. It's really they come out sharp. So
I like these Unbound Rainbow.
Yeah. I knew they were going to look great because the last ones did too.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and it looks good on this one with the water effect. I really,
did
get. It's pretty cool. But,
very nice, very nice.
I'm gonna focus on getting some more like kind of display stands and like cases and binder sheets and stuff, and kind of work on organizing and seeing what I got, because I bought way too much just boxes, blasters for the heck of it, and I gotta kind of get out of that habit. I mean, it's fun, but
no, you don't.
But
the value is not there as opposed to the hobby boxes.
I got lucky last week on a blaster of MCU Series 2 and pulled an auto.
That's
now,
decent.
It's not a top auto, but
but she's in Mandalorian. No, is it Mandalorian?
Yeah, she's in Mandalorian.
She's in Mandalorian. She was also in a film with Kirsten Stewart last year, Love Lies Bleeding.
Yep.
She's going to be around a bit, I think, that actress. So worth hanging on to.
And and this is really the only Quantumania stuff that we're getting is from Series 2.
The autos, the only branded things from those films you'll see put out by Upper Deck.
I'm probably gonna get back to buying singles. ComC, eBay worked out pretty well this year doing that. I've got behind me in that storage, that display case, you can't really see it, but I've got Eagle Moss statues. They're like about this big statues, and like chess pieces as well. And so I've started the ones that I have like a card that either I like the art or it's a sketch or an auto or serial numbered. I've put the figure in the card next to it, to make a little display. And so I picked up a couple, like I have an Ant-Man one, and so I picked up like this Finding Unicorn Ant-Man, which is pretty neat. It's numbered to 99. And I picked up I had a Spider Girl too, that I found one of the Z4, the raves from Metal Avengers, to 60, numbered to 63, that version of Spider Girl. So that'll go with the little statue I've got. And it was like $6 or $7 for a number to 63. So
nice.
Yeah.
If you just kind of patient, but so yeah, probably just buying singles, but focus on kind of organizing right now.
Yeah.
And I'll probably hit DC. I'll probably hit some DC stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I have been given a little bit of a heads up as to what's coming. So
probably do character breaks on that one. There's a character I want to collect, and probably go the character break route on that one.
Yeah. Oh, there's characters I'm going to be going up. There's 2 characters I'm going to be going after in DC. So
I've been waiting for the Batmobile cards. I'm stoked.
What, the ones from the weekly release that they just had? Yeah. They did.
They're supposed. Good. Yeah.
You want to hit up Amanda? She's going in deep. Yeah, she'll hook you up. On that one. Cool. All right, folks. We should probably head to the hills. So next week, I think we'll probably. I'm hoping we'll have something to open. But if not, we will go into and have a closer look at what we've seen from some of these recent sets. Not sure which set we'll focus on next week. Who knows? Let's see, shall we? But yeah, it'd be nice to have a look at some of those. I mean, maybe Masterpieces. Yeah, possibly, but Masterpieces 92 Platinum, as divisive as it was for some people, there's a lot there to chew on. So it'd be good to have a look at that now the dust has kind of settled, and especially some of the EPAC achievements I thought were quite interesting on that one. They were quite nice. And then they got the Blaster exclusives. Have you managed to find any of those yet?
I haven't seen any blasters yet.
I haven't seen any blasters yet.
They're out there, definitely out there, because people are pulling them. But of course, you got that Blaster exclusive, the purple crystals. I think
I saw somebody post a purple. Yeah, what are they? 25 or?
Well, no, that's the variant cover purple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you got purple crystals for variant covers, and they're numbered, and then you got the regular purple crystals, which is just like base card. So
I gotcha.
But yeah, I think it's going to be it's a tough gig for a character collector, that set. I'm not going to lie to you, but not insurmountable, is it, Wesley?
No hill for a climber.
No, exactly. All right, guys, you've been gorgeous. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you again.
Happy New Year.
I'll let you go off and enjoy your Sundays and hide from your. It's not actually as cold in here as it was when I first sat down.
Yeah.
It's actually warmed up, probably because this hat is.
Ian's over here looking like a cast member from Ocean 11.
I know, honestly. It's the first hat I could grab. It's the first hat I could grab on the way out of the house.
We'd be sending you through the duct system, through the lasers to get into the boat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, it's almost dark since I've started recording. So by the time I go back in, I'll need it to actually not trip over the cat. Gorgeous. Keith, I'm going to choose you to wish our audience their first enjoy collecting of 2025.
Welcome to 2025 and enjoy collecting.